Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we're going to start off with a bit of a solemn note. If you didn't hear over the last few days, a fellow YouTube creator, 2and900, took his own life. And this is obviously very saddening. Personally, I've never dealt with death very well. It's one of the faults that I personally have, and this has hit me pretty hard. Seeing a person who is in a similar position to me not be here anymore is very saddening. Now, there is a fundraiser going on for his funeral to honor him in life and also death, and it's been set up by his brother. And I'm going to leave a link in the description, just so if you want to contribute to it, just for his sake, then make sure to do so. But it's the best way to honor him is to never forget him. And I'm sure many of you won't, and I definitely won't. Anyway, let's get on to the video. Today we're going to be having a look at some Datamines from WTCT Center from the rumor and roundup discussion on the War Thunder forums. Now, WTCT Center has been data mining for a long time now, so I do leave a lot of credit in what he says on a lot of different things. And also, I would like to thank him for the fact that he's put together this stuff for us. So there are three different sets of Datamines, mainly talking about stuff such as the next battle pass, so that is always nice to see. The first one talks about the dev server change, where the first one for the battle pass, its minimum days has been changed from 75 to 91, so they might actually been increasing the time of the battle pass to 3 months instead of 2.5. Maybe this is to try and make it a bit more formalized, so therefore there's 4 a year instead of the 5 that we're looking into. The next one is days required to increase points earned from dailies increased. So for example, it takes more days to get from 1 daily point to 2 has also been added. So I believe this is talking about the logins, so how you have to have a daily login stretch where eventually it will increase to 5 points that you can get. If you've been daily logging in since the start, you can get your 5 points now. That's probably what that's talking about. That makes sense if the battle pass itself is increasing. Then the number of challenges have been decreased from 16 to 14. So they're actually increasing the time of the battle pass and decreasing the challenges. Now hopefully this doesn't mean that the challenges are going to get harder because of this. There's actually been quite a lot of pretty rough challenges. The survivor one was not very fun to do. I know you had the whole battle pass to do it if you unlock the level, but it's still a rough one to be able to get done. Hopefully we don't get too many more of them. If we get a Heroes of the Sky one, oh my god, that's going to be impossible unless you play arcade. The time between each challenge has also increased, so obviously with the increase of the battle pass, this will hopefully mean that you'll have more time to do the challenges, just because of the fact that it will be in a situation where you'll have, you'll have an extended time. If not, then it just means the challenges will probably be the same difficulty, and you'll just have a bit more breathing room between them, even though you won't have that much breathing room if you want to get to 150, because you still got to do dailies and also special tasks as well. And then we had another update to the dev server, and this actually added in the Battle Pass vehicles. Now remember, the Battle Pass for Season 3 is ending pretty soon. It's going to end on the 28th, and this set of the Battle Pass will probably start up again on the 29th, so giving no break on the train. The EBR, the SDKFC 251, the Omaha class Detroit, and also the A6M6 all got added to the files, so they're rip and ready to go. And also their camouflages came along. In battle passes, normally you get a camouflage along with these things. So the Omaha class, the USS Detroit, is going to get a Normandy camo, or a deforming camouflage as it's known. The SDKFC 251 is going to get a tricolor camouflage. I think this will be really nice. And then the EBR will get a voltigeur camo, so a fearless voltigeur camo. It'll be interesting to see what that is. Hopefully it has some inspiring decals on it and all of that stuff, which will be beautiful. Then you have the A6M6, that's getting a Yokosuka Kokutai camo. Not entirely sure what that is about, but I tell you what, it does sound interesting. And the fact that they're keeping up the tradition of having extra camouflages as Battle Pass stuff, I think is really cool. Then there's some new modifications which are being added. Now these ones are very interesting. The first one is the modification for the Kachi hull, and it's the installation of pontoons. Now if you don't know what the Kachi is, the Kachi was a machine that was actually added to the files when there was that big leak of vehicles, and the Kachi was there inside of it. So now it's being theorized, because they're adding stuff to the files for it, it might be a Operation Summer vehicle, and we should actually find out about Operation Summer stuff in the next few weeks. If it is, it'll be a kind of a sad vehicle, but I suppose if it's a lower rank premium, then it'll be a bit of fun. It's just going to be a massive machine with not too much use, but at least it'll be able to float. There's also another modification, the engine model SC3G, and this is based off the Pratt & Whitney, so the Twin Wasp, the R1830, because there's an R1830 called the SC3G, and this is a 1,065 horsepower one, and it is the same engine which was built in Sweden as the STWC3G, and is used on the Swedish planes, the J22, the B17, and the B18 in Sweden. So they might just be formalizing it as a Swedish machine and as a Swedish engine instead of using American stuff. And that would make sense to me, personally. Just making sure that it's much more grounded in Swedish stuff instead of American. There's also some new decorations. So you got the Voltigeur's emblem, then the infantry helmet of the M51 of 1957, and also the MAT 49. And I'll show you pictures of them in a bit, and also talk a little bit about them in general. There's also some new achievements. The first one is kind of weird. It's the Ivan Pudubney achievement. Now, if you don't know who Ivan Pudubney is, we talked about him on the last Battle Pass. He's actually the guy who was the profile picture. He was the Russian professional wrestler in the early 1900s. Somebody to really aspire to. Was very powerful at the time and did a lot of different stuff. So for me, it's kind of odd that an achievement's getting added for this, because, well, we've already had his battle pass in a way with the strength band stuff, so a little bit odd, but we'll have to see. Then you also have the veteran of the French Legion. If that's going to be the title for this battle pass, that is awesome. That, I think, is going to be appreciated by a lot of players. And then also you have the special profile icon, which is going to be the Fearless Voltigeur. So there's also that as well. New weapons being added, the MG3 machine gun, the 90mm f2 cannon, 40mm Bofors L60, and also the 12.7 M3P machine gun. Some of these will be for the vehicles that have just been added in. The others will just be classifications of other vehicles which will be around. Simple as that, really. You've also got the pictures of the tech tree vehicles. Looks like they're all in the black and white or kind of brownish color, representing that they're early vehicles instead of late ones. Makes sense, apart from maybe the EBR. Could have been nice to have a colored photo for that one. But overall, they look nice, they look fine, they look sorted. Definitely worth having a look at. And then also the profile picture was found for the Battle Pass, and it seems to be more of a modern French soldier, probably one who took part in something like the Algerian War, which is much more closer to modern day. I thought they were going to go in the Napoleonic era, and to be honest with you, I think that would have been really cool. This is also still very cool because it fits with the idea of the EBR, like when it was actually used and all of that good stuff, so makes sense to me. And this would be labeled the Fearless Voltigeur, and also in the files it's labeled as the Cardigan for the Legionnaire, so basically an infantry member that you get to be. They're also adding a helmet, and this is the M51, or the Modell 1951 helmet. This was used by the French military, iconic of the Algerian War specifically, and it replaced a variety of helmets used during the Second World War, including the Adrian helmet. This was used, and also the M1 helmet was used from the US as well. But the Modell 1951 was designed to have the same general shape as the US M1 helmet in an effort towards standardization with NATO. So this was used not just by France, but a bunch of other countries, especially people like Israel, India, also Kenya and Ivory Coast, and many others who gave it a go. The gun decoration for this Battle Pass as well is the MAT 49. Now the MAT 49 is a very much interesting looking submachine gun. It was developed by the French arms factory Manufacture Nationale d'Armes de Toul, which is why, you know, it's called MAT 49. It's a 9mm submachine gun, and it's been used for a ton of years. It's been in service since 1949, and it's still in service today, showing how useful it is in a combat role. There is also a police variant of this. For me, when I look at this, it just seems like a very, very small gun, something that is compact and also fires, obviously, pistol caliber rounds, and does, you know, a ton of damage with good fire rates. And it was used, obviously, from 49 to the present, so it was used during the time that the profile picture and also the helmets would be used for. So it looks like that's the period of time that they're going for when it comes to its general use. And we also seem to have a Voltigeur sign or insignia for them, which will probably be a decoration. I think it looks really cool. You know, it's obviously got the trumpet on it, and also the headdress, I think, is basically the way to put it. So that's also a really nice touch. So that is all the stuff from the Datamine. If you can get the asset viewer working, you can probably see some of the vehicles in the asset viewer. Unfortunately, mine right now doesn't work, and I'm trying to get it fixed so it does actually work, so I can bring you guys some cool pictures and everything like that. And also, this Battle Pass is shaping up to look really cool. I would have preferred if they went with the older theme, but the more modern theme is still really cool, and it's really nice to see the French be represented in this way. So as always, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank BRFC, Swollen Ostrich, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Conte Baraka, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Lafouche, Barine, and Samuel Schlick for supporting the channel.